Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Easy Does It, a podcast created specifically for the amazing members of the MJ team. Rob and I are excited to be back with you. We have another great episode for you today. It's a guest host episode, and I am particularly excited about this one because I don't know our guest hosts that well either. Rob is in a really cool position, what you do here, because just about everybody who comes through the doors, you meet in some way, shape, or form. And I don't always get the opportunity to do that. So I am really excited today to get to know somebody that I don't know a whole lot about.
Yeah.
Will you introduce our guest host, please, Rob?
We have a plumbing extraordinaire here today.
Ooh.
I remember when I saw him for the first time in the meeting and getting to spend time with him, I'm like, this fool has wonderful locks on the top of his head, wonderful waves up top with a luscious beard on the bottom. Handsome young man up in here today.
It's the one and only.
TJ Mickel's up in the house today.
Well, first, I think we have to pool a budget and get you guys a jingle at the beginning. We need Easy Does It with Rob and Meredith. You need that.
I think I might just have Corey just sound bite that,
Yeah.
and then that'll be it. You already did
All right,
it.
yeah, I just need royalties,
Yep,
Yeah,
we do.
when we get those, we'll give those to you.
Yeah.
It's important.
We do need, we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
So Darren, who's on our tail on the training team, he's the HVAC trainer. He's really into music.
Yes.
He plays quite a few instruments,
Oh.
and
He's also a wrestler.
it is free time. But he too, we've talked about this jingle, and we need some we need it.
Yeah.
I don't know what vibe we need to go for, but there needs to be some intro music. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like we've got people here who could do that for us.
Yeah. Corey. Darren.
Put it together.
Yeah, make it happen. We've got a good would you rather for you today.
All right, let's go.
Okay. So this one is, would you rather fist fight a gorilla
Ooh.
or wrestle a shark?
Ooh. I think I can speak for the rest of the world when I say the ocean is a terrifying place, and I don't want to die underwater. You're going to die in both situations. So if I had to die, I'd rather not be drowning. So I will take fist fight a gorilla for 1,000 Rob.
Man, it's final answer.
Final answer.
I don't think you would win either one. There's no prize.
Yeah, no.
There's no prize
Yeah.
here.
No.
Well, we've said this before. It's just like the zombie apocalypse question. We talked about that too. Who do you want to have with you in the zombie apocalypse? Either way, it don't matter because I'm dying.
She's made the decision.
I ain't making it out. And so I think this is a very similar situation. I too have always, maybe Jaws is what started this for me, but
For everybody.
Yes, have had this type of the rows of teeth. I don't know. I'm gonna go with fist fight a gorilla too. Maybe do gorillas can climb trees too though, can't they?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
I don't know that I've ever seen a gorilla climb a tree. I'm
Guys,
sure they can.
I guarantee you gorillas can climb a tree. I promise.
I don't think I've ever seen it, but it's like I've never seen a bear climb a tree, but I know that they can go up there.
Was it fist fight a gorilla? And what was it? A shark?
Wrestle.
Wrestle.
Shark.
Shark.
Wrestle.
I mean, technically, if we say fist fight, all I got to do is hit him one time and run, and define wrestle a shark, because I'll just put him in a headlock and let go, and then
Just
survive.
hug him real quick and swim away.
Yeah, give him a little hug. Maybe he'll think I'm being sweet.
No.
I feel like the wrestle a shark thing would probably be in the cards for me.
No.
Yeah, I can swim okay, but I feel like sharks are more scared than they are aggressive like that.
Oh.
And so I feel like I would try to, because they would probably swim off. I don't think they got a vendetta against you. If they do, then you're done. But the gorilla thing, it's so my wife is terrified of bears. She's like, they're cute, but she's like, there's literally no escaping. They can swim, they can run, they can climb a tree, and they're vicious and they're huge. So I feel like that about a gorilla. They can chase you down. Apparently they can climb a tree, TJ.
Yes, they can climb trees.
I don't know that I've ever seen one swim, but I don't want to test that one. I feel like the gorilla would just jack you up. Like
In a fist fight, for sure.
have you seen the video? I think it was on Instagram, and it's like a gorilla they would just manhandle you. Like there's no chance. And it was
Absolutely.
they're in like the African Congo, and there's like gorillas, and they like charge you, and you're supposed to just stand your ground and not move. You can't don't run, none of that. You just stand there. And so like the guides are out there, and the gorilla comes up, and he like runs up and beats his chest and looks at the guy, and then he just walks right past the guy and just like grabs the bottom of his leg gently, and the guy just like falls to his back, and he drags him like 15 feet and just lets him go. And it was just like there's no dude. The gorilla didn't slow down walking. Like it didn't slow. His body weight didn't slow him down.
I'm pretty sure like the bigger ones, like the male gorillas, like if they stand straight up, I'm pretty sure like 6 or 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Over 6 feet tall.
For sure.
Yeah, no. You don't want any parts of that.
It's like a chimpanzee. Like they look innocent and whatever. They're stronger than you. They will jack you
100%.
up.
That's how people. Well, I hear all these kinds of stories about people that go out in the field.
Yeah.
Which y'all should write a book, number one, about all the things that you see out in this world. But I have heard that people, and also, you read stories about this kind of thing, not necessarily just related here to our folks out in the field, but where people keep animals like a chimpanzee, probably not a gorilla or a shark, but people keep these animals in their homes.
Yep.
No.
TJ, what's your craziest story of maybe an animal, a type of animal, or some craziest story of the field? We need to start like Tech Chronicles.
Yes.
And be like, you got to tell us a story about something.
That would be a good segment because all of us, every service worker or contractor or whatever, has that one crazy story. I'm trying to think about animals. I haven't seen like an exotic animal at a customer's house, but I think like it's more of like the quantity of animals. Like I've been to customers' houses where like there's an animal for every square foot.
Oh yeah.
And it smells like it too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
I've seen that.
but
Or smelled that.
yeah, I think that would be the most. Sometimes you get like the calls that are like out in the rural areas, and they'll be on the farmland. So like, you gotta like fix a hydrant faucet in the horse stables right there. Like I've had that. I think that's probably my best one. Is like horse was like just hovering over my shoulder the whole time because I've been around horses, and most of the time, unless like you kind of like coax them in, they won't really come around you that much. But he was super interested in my hat in particular. And that was pretty cool. But other than that, just a lot of dogs, a lot of cats, and the evidence of them living there right at the front door.
Yeah.
It's always interesting experiences.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know how people do it. We just got the one dog, and I'm struggling. It's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
It's too much. I think there was I don't remember, there was a story about somebody who had like, I think a monkey, a chimpanzee of some sort, and it just roamed the house. I feel like that was somebody here.
But I can't imagine that.
And it's so,
Yeah.
and they're so unpredictable.
Yeah.
Like it's still a wild animal.
Yeah.
It's still a wild
Sure
animal.
is. Sure is.
They could, like you were saying, they're stronger. They
Yeah.
could turn on you at any moment.
Well, this is why I'm not much of a cat person for those same reasons.
Yeah.
I don't trust cats.
No.
I don't trust cats.
I think people that say they can trust their cats, they got a couple screws loose. 'Cause
Rachel
it's like-
Griswold.
Yep. Some of her impressions of her cats. I'm like, see, that's why you trust that thing? Like it.
It makes a sound. I can't make it. It's like
I can't.
they
do
make
it.
that sound at her when
no, I don't like it.
and they're like, and they're
Sounds
like,
like a velociraptor from
yeah.
Jurassic Park.
That's why I
in your
don't like
house.
birds. Birds too are unpredictable to me. Like it swoop down by your no.
Yeah.
I think I'm good.
I'm out.
I did have one customer's house I went to. Her name was Robin, actually, which was funny. I won't forget it. And I come in, and right at the front door, she has a terrarium with tarantulas all up in it.
No.
Next to it, she had several large lizards in that one. And I'm like, wow, this is an interesting deal you got here. And she's like, yeah, we've got these. And then I went in the attic and I'm working, and then I had to go down in the crawl space. And she goes, let me know if you see a snake down there. And I'm like, why? And she's like, well, I put one down there because we were having a rodent problem. It's a black snake, so don't worry. But just let me know if you see him down there. And I'm like, what? And she's like, I trapped him down there. So she like closed off all the vents, threw him in. I'm like, Fantastic. So he's either eating them all and he's hungry, or it's infested with rats and I'm about to crawl down there. But I didn't see anything. You do the flashlight. I'm sure you do the same thing. Flashlight check. You just cross the crawl space, see if you see any eyeballs looking back at you.
You do the flashlight check, and then you take your spider stick, which you gotta have.
Told you it wasn't me.
And you smack it against the ground, especially if they have plastic. You smack it against the ground. Yep. Any critters are gonna go in the opposite direction. Yep. Hopefully.
Yep. You paid him to say spider stick.
I swear I did not say that. No, I told you it wasn't
spider
just me.
stick is essential. You can have every tech up. You can go get a tech from a different company. A spider stick is essential.
You see what I'm saying?
The last thing you want to do, because you don't. All right, let's be honest. You don't want to be in the crawl space in the first place. It's a part of the job, and you get used to it. But if you had a choice from working in the crawl space or not, you pick not every time. But while you're going in there, the last thing that you want is spider webs and whatever's caught in the spider web in your mouth, in your ears, in your hair. It's the worst. And even with the spider stick, you still get it anyways.
Yeah. Where do you get the stick from?
You either have one that you keep, trusty dusty, or you just walk around in the yard until you find. Sometimes it's not even a stick. Yeah, like I've seen like a customer that had like a broken broom, like right near the garage, and it's like, yeah, that stick is coming with me now.
I'll put it back.
That broom handle, it's coming in the crawl with us now.
That's awesome.
100%.
That is so funny that you brought that up, because I don't know when we talked about that, but I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, it's like a wand.
You make cotton candy.
Yeah.
Just through the crawl space.
Well,
it's game changer. Or you could be like Justice Sadariaga, who she's got her little bun and she wears her hat. But then maybe you could do this. But she takes a shoe cover and she puts it on top of her head sideways.
Yeah.
Looks like Krusty the Clown, and then that's how she goes in, so she doesn't get spider webs in her hair.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
Come on, no. It's only in the crawl space.
It's still too close to my head. Like the thing that's like catching the it's too close to my head.
But you don't want to get it in your hair.
I don't want it's the spider webs or whatnot. They don't feel great. It feels like something's on you.
Yeah.
But like my real concern is what's on it. Mm-hmm. Like not the actual spider. The web is not going to do anything to me. But my like fear is not really the snakes in the crawl space. It's the spiders. Because like you won't feel it. Most of the time you might have on a crawl suit, or like even right now it's not even winter yet, and I got on 2 layers. You won't really feel it until you get bit.
Yeah.
That's really my biggest thing. Yeah.
Not happening.
No.
I don't like spiders myself.
I don't know how y'all do it. Any of it. Any of it.
I've got a 4-leg minimum maximum for wildlife.
Minimum maximum.
Yeah. Nothing with less than 4 legs. Nothing more with more than 4 legs. I don't deal with any of that.
So no animals. I was about to say, what about a chicken running around on 2 legs?
Yeah, no, I'm not dealing with chickens.
Don't trust those either.
Yeah, no, I don't trust them.
Roosters can be crazy. I'll tell you that much.
Chickens are vicious. I don't know if you I don't know if you have chickens or know anybody with chickens. Chickens they're not like friendly. This is not like old McDonald's farm. They're not nice.
Well, going back to birds.
It ties in.
That's what I'm telling you about the birds. It's like they're just sitting there pecking the ground, whatever, and then all of a sudden, wings out. And
what do they sound like?
Oh, that's a setup.
Not doing that.
TJ, what got you? I know you're here at Morris Jenkins, but what's your pathway, man? Have you always started off in plumbing? Were you doing things prior to that? Like what's your story?
So I was never mechanically inclined, just throughout life. Nor did I ever see myself being any sort of contractor at any point. But beforehand, I was in textiles and manufacturing, printing clothing, and there's a ceiling to that, so to speak. So I've got a really good friend who was working here. At the time, at first, he wasn't working at Morris Jenkins. He was just plumbing, and he was like, "I'm gonna start plumbing, man. Like, get like a real trade, something that's not gonna go out of style, so to speak, or whatever, some stability, and just see what happens." So he did that, and I kept doing what I was doing. Which I enjoy doing, like, clothing, creativity, whatever. Like, I like to create. So that was, something for me. But over time, like, he, was like really starting to make major life changes. He bought a house, and, when it was my girlfriend's birthday, I bought her, some shoes. When it was his fiance's birthday, he bought her a car. And it was just, he was able to do that kind of thing. And by that time, he was working at Morris Jenkins, and, we were real close. And he was like, "Hey, man, I know you're ambitious. You can, use the money that you could potentially make in this trade to, fuel your other endeavors until, one cancels out the other maybe. So that's how I really got here, or in the trade. I worked at a couple of smaller companies, plumbing companies before Morris Jenkins, and then I got here, and I'm here now, trying to make $1.
Nice, man. Who's this fellow that works here?
This is Chris Milam.
Oh, man. How did I know?
In install, my twin.
I seen y'all hanging out. That I love that dude. I went out on a job with him, him, Owen, and all that, and I just remember this cool cat rolling up with this. He's got a beautiful beard too, and I swear an explosion can go off in the parking lot and be like, man, that's hot. Like, he's just so like laid back, it's just so chill. But I remember him rolling up. We were trying to do all the stuff at the job, and he's just calm the whole time. I didn't bring any food for lunch, and I was thinking we were going to go out to eat on this install job, and it's like 3:00 in the afternoon. I'm like, which one of you guys is going to leave to go get lunch? Like, do all that, and they just all start laughing at me. And there's Chris sitting there with his little pack of Oreos, and he goes, "Well, you should have brought your own food." And I'm like, "Can I get one of those?" Nah, man.
That all tracks.
Yeah,
that all tracks.
He was killing me, and the lady had a pond out front, and he says, "You wait, Rob. By the end of this call, I'm gonna get the keys to that pond," because he likes to fish.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna get the keys to that lady's pond out there, see if she'll let me go out there. And I said, "I don't think you will." And then, sure enough, by the end of the call, I'm talking to him like, "Did you get the keys to that pond?" Nah, man. But he's so funny, man. Where did you guys meet prior? Like, was it?
Oh, like years and years and years ago. Like, we've been tight for forever almost.
That's cool.
So
man.
we've just always been around. And if you have someone like, friend, family member, or whatever that you respect, and you kind of pool in ideas just in life in general. Just how can we win? So it's always like that with me and him, even right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
Are you originally from this area?
Yes, for the most part. Yeah, I grew up here.
Okay,
yeah, for sure.
Nice.
For sure.
And did you when you were younger? What was TJ like as a young child, a teenager?
Whippersnapper.
A handful. This guy thought he was going to take over the world, which is still possible, but maybe arrogant, rambunctious, which is kind of still a thing too. But yeah, mostly those things, and a class clown for sure. Yeah, and I'm a little more chill now, but that's still a little prevalent as well.
Yeah. I think it's interesting for people to know who we were, what would describe us at different points in our life, and because knowing you or seeing you now, I don't know that I would have guessed those things, because just so.
Oh, the class clown hadn't left.
Yeah, no, for sure.
He might not vocalize it as much in the meetings and whatnot, but
I'm thinking it.
Oh, he is.
I'm definitely thinking it.
I see that look in his eye.
Yeah.
But it is nice to know, to kind of see get this more full picture, I guess, of this person.
Well, you got to be self-aware to know any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Not everyone has self-awareness. I think as I got a little bit older, hopefully as you get older, you you don't do the things that you used to, or at least some of them. So,
Were there some defining moments for you that you feel like have, got you on the path that you are right now, as far as like your attitude, your mindset about life and all that stuff?
I would like to think that there were, but honestly, no. Like, when you kind of think, like when you watch a movie, you know what I mean? And someone's going through like some turmoil, and then this thing is usually like some old person has this conversation. You really got to turn it around, man. I guess I had those moments, but I was headstrong, and am headstrong. So it's been a culmination of trials and tribulations and travesties, and just for me to finally learn the lesson. I'm 100% a hardhead, and I have to learn things on my own terms a lot of times. For sure.
What lesson do you feel like you're learning right now?
Patience, faith, and dedication. Those three things are major, and it doesn't matter what it is that we're talking about. We could be talking about relationships, jobs, children, religion, whatever the case may be. Like those three things are like the keys. Well, at least for me, and I think maybe it's because I just lack those those three things.
Yeah, I feel like the three of those are really stellar. Like they're really necessary for us to be able to live that good life, and some of them will be more annoying than others to learn. Which one do you feel like is the toughest for you right now?
Patience.
Patience?
I'm 100% impatient. I don't know if it's a millennial thing.
Like always been impatient?
Always.
Really?
Like from day one. Always been impatient. Like I have to like occupy my mind while I'm waiting for something, like waiting to hear back about a job or waiting for a text like to come back. I'm intense about waiting for things. But I think my impatience has like made me become like more of a cool customer, just more chill in general, just because, just like get frantic so long, it tires you out. Yeah.
Yeah, patience is a tough lesson to learn.
Well, and I think what I'm hearing from you right now, which is so cool, is some people who are hard-headed or lack patience don't recognize those things about themselves. Like you were talking about self-awareness. I mean, just the fact that you recognize those things, like, am I being, you can ask yourself those questions, as we all can. Am I being hard-headed right now?
Right.
Am I exercising the right amount of patience in this scenario? I mean, just even being able to ask yourself those questions to me it's like you've got a lot of that thought, a lot of that headspace is happening for you, which I think is really cool.
Thank you. It's a blessing and a curse, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like even in business endeavors, if you're impatient, it drives you to, you're going to like, I want to try this. You might have multiple irons in the fire. And if they're not, then it's like, what am I even doing here? Right. Mm-hmm. And so I think there's a lot of good qualities that can come out of being impatient, but also on the other hand, it's like being patient and waiting for things to flourish.
Yeah.
That's one of the greatest lessons of life, is being patient, waiting for things to happen, because you never really know. Things that seem to happen too fast don't always last as long as we want them to.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So one thing we ask our guest hosts to do is to tell us something that they've learned, either not necessarily from Dewey himself, but from working at MJ and experiencing here. And so I have a couple things that I highlighted from TJ's response that I want to know more about. So the first one, when we talked or when he was writing back, he said something about operating with more purpose. I love that phrase in general, operating with purpose, being more intentional, I think was a word that you used, intentional with every step of my work. The work itself becomes almost second nature and smooth. So can you talk to us a little bit about that, about this idea of operating with purpose?
Yeah, I can do that. First things first, operating with purpose. My new book is out right now. Just operating with a purpose, I guess. We were talking a little bit before we started, and you were saying like, are you one of these people that's okay with flying by the seat of your pants? And I just am. Like, it's naturally, even though I'm impatient, like I don't really need a lot of structure. Like, things just happen as they may, but as long as they're happening. And so I was kind of living my life like that. And as you become an adult, for sure, it's not okay to certain aspects like your finances, interpersonal relationships. You've got to have purpose. There's got to be some intention with what you're doing. So I think mentally as well, it becomes a little easier to do things that maybe you don't really necessarily like want to do, or something that you wouldn't usually do if you're thinking about, maybe what you're going to benefit from it, like what is it going to do for you or do for someone else, or whatever the case may be. So for me, like I feel like I was just going to work and being like, there's just nothing going on upstairs. Like just focusing on just enough to like make this repair or make this sale or whatever. And once I started, kind of like putting my brain first, let my light shine a little bit, it made things a little more easy. Like things became less frustrating. You have a little less mistakes because, everything that you're doing, you're thinking about it. Like the purpose of me explaining this to her or him is going to do this for us.
Yeah.
So for me, just me myself, which I feel like I'm a little bit different from most people who are here, was plumbing or just, mechanical work in general was like not my bag. And so I had to like get myself in a space to where like I'm moving with a purpose. I'm not just moving to move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's so. I think it's, number one, fantastic that you even brought those things together, going back to being self-aware and recognizing like I'm just going through the motions.
Right.
And I wonder, how many people just go through the motions, but then every day kind of end up feeling like, what was that for?
Yeah, no, for sure. Like whenever you don't have those, I guess, like you don't have the mindset for whatever it is that you're doing, either at the beginning of the day or the end of the day, I was always feeling like I've got to get it together, or I'm wasting my time and theirs too.
Yeah.
So yeah, major.
Yeah. I mean, that's because who wants to be in the headspace every day of like, I got to get it together.
Yes.
It's like a constant pressure on yourself to be like I'm not doing this well enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not living up to my potential. I mean,
Right.
And thinking those thoughts every day can certainly take you down, a place where we don't want to be. So I think it's really cool that you were able to see I'm in a headspace where this is not working for me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to do something different. And we've talked about on here quite a few times, like, you didn't wait for anybody else to tell you. You didn't wait for somebody to say, TJ, let's do this, this, and this. It was just like, what am I going to do? Because we can't wait on that perfect thing to happen or somebody to say that thing or do that thing. It's really our responsibility.
It's like that. It doesn't exist. It's not real. No
Right.
one's coming to save you.
Yeah.
I've been seeing that a lot lately on like social media and whatnot. I don't know where it's coming from, but I kind of like that. I've been saying that a lot to myself. Like, no one's coming to save you at all. Like that moment that you're like, I'm going to turn it all around. It's like, it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not great, but it's a thing that has to be done. Yeah.
Well, I feel like it's such a liberating thought to know that it is right there, and it's just on the other side of a decision that you make.
Right.
Because you can choose. I mean, living to your point earlier, that less intentional lifestyle, it is a lot easier to live that way because it's almost, you're just on autopilot. It's
Right.
easy and comfortable. But then, what you're saying, that you came home and realized over and over again that, dang, like I have got to get myself together. Otherwise, you could just do it forever.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to recognize that if you want to change that mentality, it's just making the decision and recognizing there's going to be a lot of work that goes behind that too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's not easy being aware and pushing yourself every day, is it?
No, it's not. I think being aware, maybe in my case, like hyper self-aware, is extremely exhausting. Sometimes like I find myself like replaying like conversations that I had with people. I mean, sometimes like meaningless conversations, just thinking like, did I say the right thing? Like, should I have said that? I hurt his feelings, or whatever. But being self-aware is good, and I guess everything is good within limitations, or without being in excess.
Gotta have a balance of it.
Right. Always.
Do you find that there's moments that you feel like sometimes you slip back into that unintentional lifestyle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because I think it was something that I was doing naturally. And I think the best reminder for me to not slip back into that is, like you said, like whenever you're living like, unintentional, or you don't like have any intention about what you're doing, the wins as they come, like the little small good things or big good things that happen to you, you didn't really plan for them for real. So, I mean, when they come, it still feels great. So like that part doesn't really wake you up. It's when you lose. When you lose, when you didn't have a plan, when you're losing and you like just didn't think anything through, that's when it sinks in the deepest, and that's when it hurts the most. Like, so like a person that's been planning their life and their finances and all this other stuff, when something happens to them, they can usually handle it. It's not really that big of a deal. We knew this could possibly happen. We have an exit strategy for it. When you don't have that, it's a bad look.
Yeah.
And it's not fun. And that feeling is a constant reminder. So when I do feel myself start to slip into it, that sting is enough to like shock me back. So with all honesty, my life is like flowing up and down from that. Like, you know, trying to find that perfect little groove to be in between, you know, losing myself and on top of my game.
Mm-hmm. Which I think is totally normal.
Yeah.
I think that's totally normal. We're not all at the top of the mountain all the time. And I think the expectation, if we place that expectation on ourselves, then that's unrealistic too. You know, that's giving you, I don't know, maybe it was Brandon who told me this, but you know, it's like, I'm in the ditch. I think that's what he called it. So it's like, and I find myself too, you know, if I've been reading a lot or I've been listening to a lot of podcasts and I'm really tuned in to like growing myself and getting better and my own professional development, and then all of a sudden it'll be like, meh, like I'm falling, I'm getting over into the ditch. And so then it becomes like I'm getting away from doing those things anymore. And not that I have to use every single drive home to listen to a podcast. You know, there's some opportunities for listening to some good music and whatnot as well.
Yeah.
But if it goes on for like weeks and weeks where I'm not tuning back into my own growth, then I know I've completely fallen off the road into the ditch.
Right.
And I have to get myself back. I got to get back up on the road. It doesn't have to be all the time, everything, but I have to recognize when I'm falling off and get myself back up. I do think that is totally normal for all of us to kind of be ebbing and flowing like that with our own growth, with our own professional development, how we're becoming the best versions of ourselves.
Yes.
I did want to ask you that. Do you think there's something in particular that you do? Like for me, I'm a reader, so I read stuff. What is it that you do for your own professional development, for your own, all of these things? And maybe it's the type of thing where you are just a reflective person by nature and, you just do your thing. But what is it do you feel like kind of feeds you in that aspect?
Professionally, specifically, right?
Or personally?
I think you kind of like hit the nail on the head. For me, like it's like just kind of like thinking. I'm a think, like I told you, like I think a lot about what's said, what's not said, what's done, and what's not done. So professionally, for me, it's like 100% like reflection, just on the day to day. Like you've got that sixth sense where you kind of know like it's not going as great as it could have been, and mine is always going off. So I'm always having those thoughts, but personally, it's more or less the same thing. But you know what gets me going on both sides is like you have that little reflective period or whatnot, and then it's time to listen to music, and then you know we get after it after that, and then what happens? It just happens. Like we tried, we put our best foot forward, and then tomorrow we'll do the same thing. Yeah.
Is there a frequency? You said that there's like a flow, like you kind of find that zone of being able to let off the gas, but then also being like hammered down too, though.
Right.
Do you feel like there's a frequency of how often you find where you're hammered down, and then on the other side of that where it's more laid back?
I think it's like the winds determine that. That's why like when I came here in the celebrate ideology, I like really like that, because for me it doesn't have to be something big like that happens to you, that you know, that little thing that like keeps you going. It's like, this is why I came to work, or you know, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. As long as like those little things happen and like they're highlighted either by yourself or people around you, it kind of makes it harder for me to like kind of fall down into that place. So when for whatever reason I'm not winning in my mind, then you know, wherever the mind goes, everything else is following it. So after a while you just kind of get a little like lackluster of motivation. Like I know why I'm here, but I just don't feel it right now. Like it's not been going well, I haven't made a sale, my repair costs are down, like that kind of thing. So as long as I'm like able to generate like momentum, I just need like just a little bit, not a lot, I don't need a lot. Just like that little push every day, once or twice, and I'll be good.
Who do you feel like gives you that push, that momentum?
It's only me. Like, you can, pull me to the side and have as many motivational conversations as you want. Like, I've kind of found that someone can, get me to like think a little differently for a little while, but it only lasts as long as as long as I allow it to. So like, I have to self-start, otherwise I'm doomed. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see how even just something as small as a customer being like, oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Yes.
You're my hero today. Like, you saved us in the situation where we didn't have water to drink, or that sort of thing. I can see how those things, those wins, even if it is just a thank you, or you saved the day, like that must be just such an incredible feeling.
Yes.
And I can see how that can just say like, man, like I did something good today. I did something right today because I helped someone, or whatever that might look like. I think that piece, you hit the nail on the head with, it really does help to fill our cup. Now we have to determine how often we need how many holes we poke in the bottom of the cup.
Correct.
So, because obviously if you need somebody to say thank you or good job after every single thing, then you've done poked a whole lot of holes in the bottom.
Right.
But I can see how that filling your cup that way gives you that momentum to keep pushing forward, and to keep on this journey of being self-aware, because it can be exhausting or difficult,
Right.
To do that. So I think that actually makes me think about Rob's question about where do you find yourself, kind of right now. One of the things that you talked about was kind of setting goals and these things that you're looking for in this next step. You've already talked a little bit about this apparel situation, which I really want to know more about. I think I think it's so cool to find out these sides of people that we don't even know exist. So talk to us about, what does that look like? What is this side of TJ, this creative side that we may or may not know, and these goals that you have for what's next?
Well, yeah, like just like creating things was always like my thing. I like played around with like making music and clothes and stuff just really early in life. It was just a thing that I was into. So moving forward, it's just natural that I kind of like kept up with a lot of those things. So now I took like a good little hiatus, few years. I don't know, adulting, I guess we'll blame it on that. But now I'm like really like feeling the entrepreneurial like kind of thing, and just like wanting to put myself into something and see how well people respond to it, and if they love it, I love it. So a couple of different things, like I'm working on beard oil and beard soaps.
I knew it.
Conditioners. Stuff like that, which is honestly, it's been humbling. It's been humbling, like, to learn about all of that stuff. I've like toyed around with it a little bit. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna make my own oil to save money, but like, doing research about like what's good for the skin and so on and so forth. That's one thing. Another thing is me and Chris Milam are actually doing like a golf apparel kind of thing. He's the golfer. I'm more of the apparel or whatever. So we put our heads together in that MJ tournament that just was that yesterday.
I saw what he was wearing.
Yeah, he had some of that stuff on, some designs that we came up with.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to say the brand over the air?
Oh yeah, no, it's Flock the Fairway. Flock the Fairway. Yeah.
It's a cool logo. I liked it. I saw him wearing it. His whole team was wearing the shirts, and I said, "What is this?" He goes, "Man, it's nothing, man. And just start my own apparel line out here."
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Basically the same way he told you couldn't have that Oreo.
This is my Oreo. You can't have none. Go get your own.
But yeah, like talk to Chris every now and again, because like the logo that was on there, it was kind of like a secondary one. Like, it's like not even the main stuff that has been like brainstormed, and got like little stickers and stuff. That stuff's really nice. And Chris is an excellent golfer, so I got big hopes for that. I got really big hopes for that, and even bigger hopes for the beard stuff, because the success of the golf stuff with, both of us with the beard and whatnot, I feel like it'll just kind of sell itself in there as well. I've got my own brand, like an umbrella of things that I'm going to do underneath this brand. I'm not really sure if I want to like tell the name of it yet, just because I don't have like trademarks and stuff like that. But I'm going to, sell my beard oil underneath that umbrella. I'm going to sell my own apparel underneath that umbrella, which I can say is going to be like focused around like peace and forward motion, just like positivity. That's the easiest way I can say without giving away too much. And also music production. I'm gonna like do all of this stuff under this umbrella without my name at all. My previous business endeavors, I felt like it was like kind of like powered by popularity. And I want the stuff that I'm doing now moving in the future to be just based on the product or the feeling or whatever it is that I can generate to the consumer. So all of this stuff is not going to have my name on it, and hopefully no one will ever know it's me. Yeah.
Do you feel like one of the, because these are all sound awesome.
I know.
Super excited about it.
Yeah,
I'm containing it right now.
Yeah, I can see that. I see the glimmer in your eye.
Dude,
Yeah.
Listen, I'm just like over here thinking, what am I am so impressed, and this is like, what am I doing? I feel like I need to, we've talked about this when Corey was on too. We talked about this creative aspect of our life that you are clearly tapped into, and this part of us that, in my mind, I always have said I'm not very creative. But what Corey taught me was that creative doesn't look the same for everybody, and that looking and tapping into whatever it is that brings you joy, and if you can put it out to the world. If everybody else loves it, great, but if it brought you joy, then it's I just feel like now, hearing what you're saying, it even further exemplifies what Corey was saying, is like there's this piece of us that's kind of like there and living and wanting to be tapped into, and you have tapped. Like, you are tapping. I think that's amazing. It makes me say to myself, like, what am I doing? What am I doing? There's got to be, and I think the reason I say that is because if everybody was tapping into this side of them, what could we see from people?
A lot of good and bad.
I mean,
like, cause half of it is like trial and error, I think. So,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm not like creative guru. It's just like, I think more like what Corey said, like that, whatever's bringing you joy, whatever feels good. It makes it easy to create. And I think a lot of times whenever you're doing it, you're not thinking to yourself like, I'm being this extremely innovative and perspective person, and I'm doing this. It's like, I like music, or I like interior design, or whatever it is that you're doing. I like this, and I like that thing over there, and I'm going to put this over here with this and try this with that and see what it all adds up to. And if it's something that people think is cool, then more power to you,
right?
And hopefully get paid.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the fact that like Chris was already wearing an actual shirt, it's like y'all don't just have some like drawings on a piece of paper. It's like a actual physical shirt that he was able to wear to a golf tournament. To me, that is amazing. Yes. That's like, this is not just some thoughts and ideas in our head anymore. It's happening, which I think is really, really cool and awesome for you guys.
Do you think is it the entrepreneurship side or the creativity side that do you feel like is fueling this endeavor for you? Like, what is it? What is the driving force behind all this?
This is definitely the creative side. Like, I feel like kind of a trendy thing for people to say is like, I don't want to work for anybody or whatever. Like, honestly, if you want me to be completely honest, I mean, I have those ideas too. Like, I have those moments, but the stability of it, of which I don't have to concentrate on, is 100% cool. So being an entrepreneur is not like what I set out for or what I'm setting out for. It's really more to create but be mindful and, business savvy and whatnot. So I definitely say it's more about creating, just having something that I made or I designed or it was my idea. It'd be really cool if it made money, but if it didn't, I made that. Mm-hmm. Like, how many of you can say that you made it? Well, then go try and make it. And if it's not as cool as mine, then don't talk to me again. That's how I feel.
Yeah. I just think it's just one thing for it to float around in your mind and be like, oh, it'd be cool to do this, it'd be cool to do that. And it's just a whole nother mindset or, I don't know. You've, talked about that push or that motivation to do it. It's like those are two different things.
Yeah.
To think about it and put a few sketches on a piece of paper is one thing. To actually say, like, my next set of goals is this. My next set of goals is this. And then once we get here, then we're going to look here. What does that process, I guess this goal setting piece, because that was one thing you talked about is setting more goals and getting that feeling when you hit those goals.
Right.
What is that goal setting piece? What does that look like for you?
Most of the time, like I'll take notes, like on my notes app on my phone, but like I've gotten somewhat obsessive about it. Like the celebrate. I kind of figured like this, like I kind of like tricked myself in the system. It's like, all right, I know that I need like this like little positive boost from something good happening that I did that I earned or whatever. So I just start setting like the smallest goals for like everything. Like when I go to work today, my goal is to, make X amount of money that I know I'm 100% going to make in my sleep. Something like that. I mean, just the smallest stuff. Like after I get off of work, I'm going to, do this, make sure I have this done, laundry, go to the gym or whatever it is. So I'm just typing these notes down and kind of looking over it. And I feel like as long as you like get it out of your head, it doesn't matter if you record it, write it, type it, text it to somebody who's going to keep you accountable or whatever. It's much like you said, like getting it out of this idea that's just bouncing around in your head. Like once I see it, I feel obligated, like I owe responsibility to this note that I wrote to like keep my word on doing that stuff. So that's my process personally.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm so fascinated by the idea that you can have a thought in your brain. It doesn't technically exist in the real world, but you put it down on a piece of paper, it kind of exists, and then being able to bring it into fruition and making it an actual thing, whether it be, I have a vision of Flock the Fairway.
Yeah.
And the logo, it's in my mind, and then you draw it, and then you make it, and now it's on something. Like, that's so fascinating to me. Being able to take something that doesn't exist and create that. I was actually the note-taking piece that you were just talking about, and getting it out of your mind. I've found that is so helpful, so you don't have to carry that weight around with you all the time. Otherwise, you're always thinking about the things.
Yeah.
Unless you can put it out on a piece of paper and see it. Sometimes you might be like, okay, I can't get all that stuff done today, but I can at least get these done, and then you can check it off the list and it feels good. But at least you're able to go down the line and get it out of your mind. Otherwise, you carry that.
Yeah, not only carry that, but it's hard to keep all that organized in that mental filing cabinet. So like you kind of do yourself a favor there. You don't forget about it. You get a little bit of focus, and it becomes real as well. Like once you can see it, I mean, we're complex as human beings, but still kind of simple. Or at least maybe it's a man thing. Like I've got to see it. If I don't see it, I'm like, I'm not interested in it. That's why I don't like trade or do cryptocurrency or stuff like.
It's not real.
Yeah. That's what. Yeah.
I gotta be able to rub it together in my hands.
I understand.
Have you ever like? I was watching this guy online. I don't remember who it was, but he was just talking about how that money doesn't actually exist. Like, have you heard?
I've heard this, and
It's very odd concept of what money is, and maybe you've heard the same thing, TJ. But
I've heard something similar. I can't say that I've heard that particular guy, and I mean that it's all well and good. Like we know, like that our money is like just it's a legal tender.
It's an IOU.
It doesn't really mean anything, but. Yeah. Until I can pay my rent with nothing, I just, that conversation's like super irrelevant. It's like, yeah, money doesn't exist, but
It pays my rent. I can stay in this place with this IOU.
I've got like 1,800 reasons a month why it does exist, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
I just thought it was so weird because I 100% agree with you. I just heard him say he's like, it doesn't actually exist, and I'm like, but it does. I have it in my hand.
Yeah.
But it's not even the digital side of it being on a piece of plastic either. But even actual dollars, you have them in your hand. You could pay for something, but it's just literally paper.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's
all the value we attribute to it.
Yes.
Right. And then he's just saying like it all is associated with the amount of actual value, like gold bars has value.
Yep.
But so it's based on that. And so it's like we have this much, so then we can circulate this much, and then whoever has the most is the most rich person, but it's literally a piece of paper. It's an IOU. It's all it is.
Yeah.
It's based on that. So it's just it's a weird thought, but definitely I got 1,800 reasons why I can stay in this building.
100%. I said like those kinds of arguments, they're fun to have like in this setting, like to talk about that kind of stuff. But after we leave out of this room, out of this podcast, dude, like there is something that needs to be paid. Like you got kids, they're going, hey dad, we want to go to Chick-fil-A. Like, oh, well, money doesn't exist, so we're just gonna pull up the Chick-fil-A and they'll have our meals for us.
You
on
go
command.
chase down the deer that's in the backyard. That's real.
100%.
That's all I can offer today.
Might as well. You got to teach them the real field craft. TJ, is there one of the endeavors that you're on, whether it be the apparel or the beard oil? Is there any of that stuff that like has got the most of your attention right now? Like, which one are you most excited about right now?
I think both of the apparels, like the one that I'm doing with me and Chris, Flock to Fairway, I'm super excited about just because I'm a clothes guy. Like I'm a clothes guy, or in particular like t-shirts and stuff. I think I'm gonna be like that 52-year-old dude that's still wearing like AC/DC t-shirts and stuff like that. Right, like I love a good graphic t-shirt. There's something about it. But just both of the apparels, because with the beard oil and stuff, like I get to play around and like act like I'm a mad scientist with stuff like that. And then I also get to be my own test subject with the apparel. It's a little more subjective. But the apparel is a little more exciting because there's more for me to pour myself into, like the imagery and how I'm choosing to do things and formats and placement and all that good stuff. Like it's all a movie. It's all part of a plan. Like every piece is a silver screen. It's like I'm telling a story, so to speak. So like I'm way more excited about the apparel, but about all of the things in general, like I could not be like more of a kid in a candy store,
It sounds like, through your apparel that there's a message that you're trying to put out to the world. Like I heard what you were saying earlier. If you had, you technically do, but if you had a microphone to the world, like what do you feel like you would say?
This brand in particular is it's gonna be a manifestation of a few things. Some of the things that I kind of hold dear to me, and some of them are immature, but I think a lot of people hold them dear to themselves as well, whether they would like to admit it or not. But number one, like this is a manifestation of cool. Like my brand is gonna be a manifestation of cool, of peace, of unity. Like if you could just think of like the coolest person that like not even personally, like a celebrity or something. Like who was the king of cool? Steve McQueen. Like think Steve McQueen, like that vibe, that aura, that feeling, like Fonzie. Like that's what I want to put my own twist on. Like make it tangible, slap it on clothing, and give it to the masses. So this is not going to be a thing where like I'm like putting like a logo on stuff and just like, this is my brand, everybody take this t-shirt with this one logo on it. Like there's going to be like artwork. So yeah,
I think it's interesting. It's almost like because clothing really is a form of self-expression.
Yes.
It's a form of your own creativity. It's a form of your own artistry, I guess. So right. I think that's interesting that the way that you're creating these things is going to give people the opportunity to to really choose that way of self-expression through their clothes. I think that that's something that a lot of people appreciate and a lot of people want.
Yes.
It is a way to be able to self-express through their clothing.
Well, I like to. I was telling my mom because she was kind of asking me these questions like years ago when I was doing like my first like little brand that I ever done, and I was saying that like T-shirts for me in particular, and clothing. I feel like everybody. So I use it to express myself, so on and so forth. But a good T-shirt or like a good hat. That has like a good like catchphrase or picture or whatever. It's like a perfect billboard for that person for that day. Mm-hmm. So like if you're feeling like I'm feeling like I want to get a little snazzy today, like like you've got on your button up and you got the tie and the tie's got the designs on it, so like people see you and like, oh, this guy was really feeling himself this morning. He's looking good. So that's what I think like I want to do for people, like give you something to like kind of like let the world know like today this is my vibe today. Don't come and ruin it. Come join in. Yeah, that kind of thing.
When did you feel your first inkling or inclination to express yourself in that way? Has it always been TJ, like since you were a kid, like wanted to express yourself in that way, or is it something that developed over time?
Like I don't know. I think maybe I have to give that to my mom. Like she just, I don't know, maybe she's seen something in me early, but she like just kind of always pushed me to like just try these things. Like I always like, oh, I want to like try to do this, and she's like, well, like do it, and like we can go do this, and we can go buy this and that and whatever. So from day one, dude, like I was always about like dancing, music, clothing, like all the vibrant stuff. And I can't ever like remember a time where I wasn't. There wasn't like a moment where it was like, and then I set on the path to be a creative. Like it just always was.
Apparently you're already writing your own book.
In stores.
Wait, what was it?
In stores right now.
Operating with more purpose.
Yeah.
Dang, I want that book.
I know. How do you think this creative outlet, this entrepreneur kind of visioning, how do you think that helps you with what you bring to the table here at MJ?
MJ is a business to definitely admire and like want to imitate, no matter what it is that you're doing. So MJ's definitely taught me great business practices, our core values, which I don't need to repeat. You guys know them. But just like little stuff like that. I've learned a lot just about being just a hard worker, but not necessarily having to always work hard. Like the little things go a long way, and I can definitely give MJ the credit for like instilling some values that maybe I already had, but wasn't really like tapped into and displaying on a day-to-day basis with intention. So yeah, they're like definitely teaching me to do the things that I have to do at work just for myself, on my own personal level, and then that translates onto like whatever little things that I want to do with businesses and whatnot. Yeah.
Do you think you're a better put anything in that blank? Do you think you're a better blank plumber, friend, whatever, because you have this creative outlet side?
I definitely don't think I'm a better plumber because of it. I think my creative side kind of powers a bunch of different things. I think it helps. It helps a little bit everywhere.
Yeah.
Being able to speak, being comfortable or whatever, makes it really easy to do my job sometimes, or talk your way out of a speeding ticket, maybe. That's
hopefully not in a company truck.
Yeah, no, definitely not in a company truck. Brandon Anderson and all people who could be
Who's
listening.
that?
That's never happened, I promise. But yeah, no, it helps in different ways, and it's kind of like hard to like nail it down because it's it's like really subjective and elusive to think about, but I'd say it helps everywhere where you have to kind of like be quick on your feet or improvise. Yeah.
Yeah, you've opened. It's like that side of your brain's open.
Yeah.
It's like you kind of let. Whereas I feel like that side of my brain is a little bit more closed off. Like I don't tap into it quite like you do.
Yeah.
Which is something to work on. But it's like you have that space kind of opened often or all the time.
Yeah.
And so there's this piece there that helps you be a little bit more fluid, maybe. Between those two parts of your brain. I think that's really cool.
I think you just said something that kind of gave me like an idea. I feel like like that left side of your brain. I think being creative is people who like earlier in life, for whatever reason, whether it be hereditary or nature versus nurture, whatever side it was, like that door was opened a little bit, and like they played with it and got comfortable with like keeping it open, and then it just became second nature. I think like what you're saying is like it's just stuff that's flowing and you just being confident and okay with like letting it go. I think like people who are like, I'm not creative, it's like you won't allow yourself to be creative. Ooh, in my book, pick that up, it's in stores right now.
That's the chapter on creativity.
Yes.
Do you feel like you haven't allowed yourself to be creative?
Probably not in the
Use this for research.
Yes.
probably not in the regards of what we're talking about right now, like what people would typically consider creative, like music, like art, like those types of things. I don't think I've allowed myself more space there. Like I do feel like I can be creative in my work here. I can come up with new ideas. I can do all of those things, thinking kind of outside the box. But I think there's still, I don't think maybe my door is kind of like, what's a tiny door?
Like the Alice in Wonderland door?
Yeah. My door is tiny, like a mouse thing, like a mouse door.
But to an ant, that's a big door.
Accurate.
Well, what's your thing though? Like what's your thing?
So I don't know if we talked about this or not. I did grow up dancing, a lot of dance. Cool. I love dance.
Cool.
That's like when I think of that, that's where I feel like there's a space there where I could do more. I am not your traditional artist, like painting, drawing. That is not my jam. So I do think, and I do love music. So I think that there's opportunities there for me, but it's like I need to get that door. I need to get that door opened. I need to go from the Alice in Wonderland door to like maybe like a garage door.
Okay, follow-up question. Now I'm interviewing you. Do you feel like that's worth like explain? Is that something that you like really like want to do? Like if you asked yourself at the end of the day, like we're not here, you're at home by yourself or with your family or whatever, do you want to do that more? Do you like want to tap in and like be, more dancey?
Yes.
So what are you doing about that?
Well, this is really funny. This is just the craziness that goes through, but this is the type of thing where it's like your brain would probably behave differently in this situation. So somehow or another on Instagram, I came across this really cool, it's like dance fitness.
Nice.
And it is some booty shaking, my type of music.
Uh-oh.
I signed up
Twice.
free 10-pack.
So there used to be a lot of opportunity to go take classes like that in Charlotte. There's less opportunity now, I feel like. I don't know why that is. Maybe it was COVID. Maybe it was, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not looking hard enough. Also could be possible. But this is like, I'm not even talking about going to take a class, y'all. The other night was like, I want to run one of these.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could do that. I can hook you up with some people that know how to get that started.
So, but whereas like, that's why I'm thinking, I have this side of my brain that's like,
Me doing that.
that's not going to happen. Like, what are you thinking, girl? You're about to be mid 40 years old and what are you thinking? But then I see these videos, and now clearly I understand that what I'm seeing is like the highlight reel, and there's a whole lot that goes on behind the scenes to running a business. Totally understand that. But I'm watching these people, they having the time of their lives. The music is fantastic. The dancing is amazing. There's the fitness component of that as well. But that's the kind of thing where it's like my door not quite open enough yet for me to...
I'm gonna be honest. It sounds like it's open. It sounds like it's open. The gears are moving.
They're definitely moving.
Sounds like there's a little bit of hesitation for... Yeah. I mean, the reasons are never bad. You know, they're always good reasons. But here's what I would say, because, you know, I love the groove too. By the way, I came up with a business name for you, and if you come up with it, I just require 3% of profits. Groovy Gains.
Ooh.
Groovy Gains. You don't have to use it, but, you know, if you do. Thank you, TJ. I challenge you to, let's forget about the class. See if you can find places where there potentially is some dancing. Just like a dance floor, or places where you've been. Maybe there's a bar that's local that you know you've been in there, and people just kind of dance and do their own thing. Just go there, have a couple of drinks, or don't if you don't drink. Drinking is not a must, children. And just dance. Just have a good time. Just move around, see what happens, and just have fun. And then live in that moment and remember how good it made you feel. And then when you start thinking well, I want to take this class or maybe start this business, which you may or may not do, that'll be your tackling fuel. You can go back to that
tackling fuel.
And have that moment I felt really amazing and on top of the world when I was in this dance class shaking my booty.
Have you ever taken a class like that?
Yes.
What did you think?
Oh, I loved it.
Shoot. To TJ's point earlier, it's not that the door's cracked and it's open and the door's trying to open, you trying to close it.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Okay, that's fair.
Let the door blow wide open. I have a friend of mine, Katie. So I actually met her through the fitness industry, and I actually joined and I coached for her for a while. And she had a class, and it was a dance class, and it was a fitness dance class. And I used to coach prior to that, and then I would leave. And so they were all doing their little classes. Rob, you should come dance with us. And I'm I think I'm all right. And I like to dance, but I'm I don't know if I want to take a fitness dance class. And I watched a little bit of it, and I was like, that's cool. They were playing some good music, though. And I was I'm over there moving a little bit. And then just take the class. And I'm I'll take the class. So then I started coaching, and then I would just stay after, and I would take the class with everybody. And it was so much fun. It was a blast. They'd play some classic songs, and then they would have more not contemporary, but today's music.
Yeah.
And they would come up with their own choreography for it. And what's interesting, what you said earlier, was she had always enjoyed dancing, but she had never taken dance classes, been professionally taught. She just taught herself. And so that same feeling of I've never really, no one showed me how to do this. I like to dance. And that was in her head for a long time. And then she was just screw it, I'm starting my own business. And, she did that for years.
Yeah.
And so I took those classes back in the day, and I was this is a lot of fun. I mean, you can have a blast. People don't care. I think that probably the biggest thing that people are concerned about, not the people running it, but the people in there, is what are people going to think about me? They're going to be watching me the whole time. But it's people just come in and just dance.
Yeah.
Man.
But also to your point with the thing you said, I don't want to be a gentleman. You said I'm X years old and I don't need to do this. I think that really might be a niche for you, because the older, and I'm not assuming your age at all, the older that we get or whatnot, who wants to go in a gym and lift weights and do all, I mean, it's healthy or whatnot, but as long as you're moving, it's exercise. So I mean, even if your choreography that you're doing for them isn't that great, if you're sweating, you're winning. But I feel most women at a certain age group, maybe 30 and up, kind of feel the same way. I don't necessarily want to go to the gym, but who doesn't like music? Most people enjoy dancing, even if you're not good at it.
Yeah.
So I think there's probably a really wide margin of women same mindset, everything that you've described, that would love that.
Yeah.
And your customer base would probably start here.
Yeah, it's I mean, this is for all the ladies out there that we used to go to the club. I mean, this is like, there is not a place for me to go at this age and stage in my life to dance. Where am I going to go? Where am I about to go and dance at almost 44? Where am I supposed to go? Like, that's why I live for a wedding, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
I live for a wedding.
Free drinks.
With a good DJ or a band.
Watch out!
and so, but I do think that you're absolutely right, because it's when you you don't necessarily want to go to the gym. Most people do. I have read research before about dancing. Like, you can't be anything but happy. Anything but when you are, even if you're not good at it. So I think that there's definitely people out there like me who don't necessarily want to work out in the sense of what that means, I think, normally to people. And also, too, if you love to dance, there's nowhere to go do that. Like, besides my kitchen, there's nowhere else to go do that.
You can go to the club. You're gonna be that person. You're that person that shows up and it's just like, what is going on right now? You could be Groovy Gaines or Mayor's Moves, something like that.
Mayor's Moves.
There's all kinds of things. Well, listen, I really appreciate the fact that you all just turned this right on me, here live on the podcast.
He said that it's probably going to start here. We could walk right across to accounting. Nikki will hop in. You can do it in accounting. We'll just shut the door, turn the lights off. We can find a strobe light somewhere. We'll make it happen.
100%.
Yo, we started here at Morris Jenkins in the expansion area upstairs. Shoot.
I have thought about that before, like putting it out there to people here. Like, I don't know what time most people would be done with work, but then just like having a class, and people could just come and have fun and dance. I mean, it is a good way to relieve stress, to move your body. I mean, who don't love to dance?
TJ, you've awakened a monster over here.
I know.
I hope so. I hope to hear nothing but great things. Yes.
Well, I have to put your name down in the corner.
Real small. real small.
TM. Actually, instead of TM, it's TJ.
Yeah, and that's it.
Well, speaking of good music, I feel like there were some good songs that you put out there to us that I know both of us went and listened to, and it is quite a spread. But to Mary's point earlier, it's a vibe. Like, it's a whole thing.
It's such a vibe. You said the word earlier, cool.
Yeah.
It is. That's a vibe I got. There's a groove. There's a soul to it. It is. These songs to me were the embodiment of cool.
Thank you.
I was just like, I was listening to them. I was home on Friday because about the hurricane, and it was just like, it's not the kind of music where you want to just like go all out. Speaking of dance, it's like some real close in. It was such a vibe. I loved it. I listened to every single one of them.
You want to hit the first one?
Sure. Okay. Now, we already know, because TJ has said this, that he is a music lover. It's always the really difficult part of the podcast is to pick the top 5 songs.
Yes.
So at the moment, here they are. The first one, in no particular order?
No particular order whatsoever.
The first one, Stardust. Music sounds better with you.
Yes.
I'd never heard that song before.
What? Never?
No.
I don't think I have either.
Are you serious?
Redman and Luther Vandross, obviously.
You've had to heard Saturday Night Love too.
Maybe.
Wow.
So
right now.
Is it Sherelle?
Sherelle, yeah.
Sherelle, Tame Impala, which we're going to talk about in a minute.
Okay.
Those I didn't know. And then Stardust, I don't know. Actually, no, wait. There was one of these songs, it might be Stardust, that I heard. We were actually a friend of mine's birthday party when we got sushi, and that song was playing in the background, and the guy was like, they gave us kazoos for the birthday, and he was just playing it to the beat of the song. And it's the first time I heard the song, and I didn't know what it was called until you had put it on there. So
I feel like in the early 2000s, it was in like every like comedy rom-com, like whenever they're about to go out on a night on the town, it was always like in the background, like always. Yeah.
So Stardust, Music Sounds Better With You.
Classic.
Is the first on the list. And then we have Luther Vandross, Never Too Much.
Yes.
Super classic. You can give, attribute that to my mom. Luther Vandross is always going to be immortal to her. So
Yeah.
that's where that comes. That's her favorite song in the whole world. So
Really?
it kind of became mine too.
Yeah. Isn't it funny the way our parents, the same thing for mine. I mean, it's funny the way that the music we grew up listening to, like I remember a lot of Motown, I like a lot of Temptations, a lot of Diana Ross. Like there was just a lot of that in my childhood, which very much I think influences my music
for
taste
sure.
going forward.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, my dad, he always used to play a lot of classic rock, like AC/DC, all the things. And that shaped so much of what I want to listen to today. And so I like try to pass that along to the kids of like, this is good music. Even on the softball field, we'll play music out there and I'll like grab songs. And it's funny watching them finally like singing. I'm like, yes,
My work here
I'm
is done.
slowly influencing them.
All right, next up, Sherelle. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Saturday Love.
Oh my God, such a classic. Such a classic. I know, like, I can't believe you guys haven't heard that. Like, that's like way before my time. Way before my. I want to say that's like a 70s song. I think. Pretty sure.
Yeah, it was a good one.
And then we have one that's an interesting name of the band, Tame Impala.
Yeah, that's a guy or dude.
Tame Impala. Brand new person, same mistakes.
Yeah.
Or new person, same mistakes.
Yeah.
Never heard of that one.
Nope.
Tame Impala's new school. Can't really. I don't know what to compare them to. Like if Pink Floyd made more like kind of like dancey music. It's not rock and roll at all. Like he's playing digital instruments and whatnot, but it has like just like a little groovy bounce to it or whatever. But really good.
Yeah.
Really good. You have to try Tame Impala. It's like there's something in there for the whole family. You can listen to Tame Impala with the kids.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, Redman, Tonight's the Night.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I was like, all right, I want to like throw some flavor in there, and I mean, I listen to all types of music. I mean, I halfway thought about putting a Seven Nation Army like on the list. Like I listen to that kind of regularly. I'm all over the place with the music taste, but those right now are like my most played songs on Spotify. But 90s hip hop is, for most people, forever gonna be golden, and I'm one of those people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so funny watching this fool over
Yes.
here. Shallon will play some music when she's setting up a room, and then I come in and there's this fool over in the corner, and both of them over there dancing the whole time while they're setting up a room, and that's usually what's on.
Yeah. That's what would every dance song in my fitness club would be 90s hip hop. Oh my God,
Love
so
it.
amazing.
Love everything about it.
Yes. Okay, so what does this playlist say about TJ?
It's all like, it sounds super millennial. It's all about the vibe. Like it's all about the vibe. Like each one of those songs, like just bring this really calm but happy and just chill, just like atmosphere whenever I'm listening to them. The first one, Stardust, Music Sounds Better with You. If you listen to this and you have not heard this older song, please listen to it. Like, it just does something for me. It's just technically like house music, so it's really repetitive. Like the words are like, the title is the lyrics almost. It's exclusively what he says the whole time, but it just has like this nice little frequency where you're just like, I just can't be upset right now. I just kind of got to move my shoulders a little bit.
It's all about the vibe.
It's all about the vibes. New book out. It's in stores right now.
He is an entrepreneur. He started 2 new books.
You'll find it beside Operating with More Purpose.
Right.
It'll be a continuation of Operating with More Purpose. Oh, man.
Okay, so now the rapid fire questions that are never rapid fire, but
Okay.
we'll do our best. Okay, you ready?
Let's go.
The first one, fill in the blank. Morris Jenkins is blank.
Where I work.
Nice.
Very easy. Very easy. All right, second question is, what is something that people often get wrong about you?
That I am mean. Yeah.
People think you're mean.
Yeah, I only look like I'm mean sometimes.
Oh.
Like, my resting face isn't really friendly, and I don't smile very often. I don't like the way my smile looks.
Some people think that Rob's intimidating the first time they meet him too.
No, I never thought that.
I didn't feel that about you. I was like, what?
I never thought. Well, like when we first met, we were in it was like mixed company. There was a lot of moving pieces. You got to see me like at a distance, at a table full of people, like in my natural habitat. I got to see you talking to people before you came around. But yeah, I feel like if like you haven't talked to me and you work here, and I'm like walking through the warehouse or whatever, you might get the sense that I'm not like an approachable person. Not mean, but just like not very approachable, when I'm probably the most approachable person here, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're always very friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just when you're in the warehouse, you're being intentional.
Right,
You get
right.
I got to
stuff
get my
done.
parts.
That's right. All right. What's the last show you binge watched and loved?
Can't say that I loved it. All right, I'm gonna say it anyway. From. You guys ever heard of From?
No.
Oh,
Wait,
you're in for a treat.
is that the one they get caught in that town? They can't
Yes.
get out? Yo,
Yes.
I want to watch that so bad.
It
You didn't
is-
like it?
No, it's like I don't love it. I don't love it. I like it. It's really interesting. I think like I'm only here because the mystery is like not even halfway been solved.
Yeah.
So it's like a little frustrating, but I guess that's the point.
Sure.
So maybe I'm like feeling what the writers wanted me to feel. But From is on Amazon Prime and or MGM Plus. I'm pretty sure I got that.
I didn't
right.
know it was on Prime.
Yeah,
I was
it's on
going to
Prime.
download MGM, but I didn't want to
I feel
download
like
it.
if you have Prime, you have to like. You might not have to download MGM. I
Okay.
watch it through Prime, but I also have MGM.
Okay.
I've got every streaming platform, and my bank account reminds me of it.
That's why he's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right. We have Give Us a Concert You'll Never Forget.
Ooh, concert that I'll never forget. Valentine's Day 2017, Kid Cudi.
What did you like about it? What stands out to you about that one?
Kid Cudi is probably my all-time favorite rapper. Really creative, really different. Kind of fathered the sound of the next generation of music. But that concert, for me in particular, because he's like a figurehead of like, you know, like my teenage years, you know, like those years when you're like you're starting to like kind of dress yourself for real, and like most of the time the music usually is what's influencing that. Like so Kid Cudi became like a big thing around that time of my life, so it was a big deal for me to be there. And some of his music he's singing some too, so it was Valentine's Day. It was just all of the things were like just perfect and aligned, and he's a good performer, so that was the best.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, completely different question. What's your favorite meal?
Shrimp and grits.
That was a fast answer.
That was.
Yeah.
From where?
My house.
You making it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. First off, everyone listening, if you're making grits with water, you lost.
What did you make it with?
Wait. Okay, so D-Mac, he's now
the grits king.
retired, and
Yeah, I
he was
know.
making grits for the breakfast.
I mean, I can make grits for the breakfast. I honestly would not feel comfortable with doing that without some sort of compensation. These are really, I'm telling
They're
you,
gonna
these
be that
are
good.
really good grits. But I mean, first, like, people, like, they kind of vary on, like, those kind of things, like oatmeal grits. Like, some people like them, like, really watery, and that's not the vibe here. Like, I don't make watery anything, but you're not using water. You're going to want to use some kind of broth or stock instead of water. And if you're like me and you like it a little bit thicker, then let's just say that the recipe calls for 4 cups of water. You're going to use 3 cups. I like to use chicken broth. 3 cups of chicken broth and 1 cup or 3.5 cups of chicken broth and a half a cup of heavy whipping cream.
That sounds good.
And then you can throw your exotic cheeses in there as you go. And I guess I'm just giving away the whole secret. So now I just like finish it off by telling you, if you're listening and you're going to do this, the longer they sit, the better they get.
Man.
Try
I want
try
some
it.
grits right now.
Wake up Saturday, eggs, bacon, sausage, or vegan, whatever it is that you do or do not eat. Start the grits first. Just let them sit maybe an hour. Let them cook before you like eat them. I promise you. You might even call me.
TJ TJ, how much can I pay you for this?
A man of many talents.
Yeah.
He's not. He just won't quit. So give us a snapshot of an ordinary moment in your life that brought you great joy.
A snapshot of a moment in my life that brought me great joy. Honestly, you want to be honest? I don't have any children, right? And I'm not like married. I'm like kind of working on some things, whatever. But it's gonna sound like really like the birth of all of like my friends' kids, like at this, my big age of like the 30s and whatnot, have been some of like the craziest moments. Of course, it's like the birth of a child, so of course it's like gonna be beautiful. But for me, there's like this circle of life thing that's happening like in that moment. Like when Chris's kids were born, I was like boo-hooing in there every time. I was always the first person, almost, to get to the hospital. But I remember when his middle son was born about 2 or 3 years ago, I was there, and after a while, they come in and they give him some kind of shot. I don't know what it is, but they give him some kind of shot. But I was holding the baby, and they were like, "Well, you just hold him, and like we'll do the shot." And they gave him a shot, and he went crazy, and I started crying. I was like, "Man, they're hurting my baby. Like I don't know what's happening." But just those moments, family, chosen family is like really important to me. So like this like circle, I kind of like feel like a grandfather. You know what I mean? With my friends' kids, like those are some of like the happiest moments I've had as of late. Yeah.
Well, it's like, I think using Chris as an example, such a dear friend that I'm assuming love very much.
Right.
And you've known him prior to him becoming a father. And so it's like, this person and where they come from and what they want for their life. And to start to see those things come to fruition, it is,
Yeah.
gonna make me cry too.
They probably thought you were the same fellow. Y'all got the same beard and everything.
His kids, all of them, like as they were like born and babies, and maybe up until they're like 3 or 4, it's the craziest thing to watch them like process like us being in the same room or whatever. Like they'll come, they know it's him. Like they'll figure it out really quick that like he's the one. So I'm a little taller or whatever, but like we'll be in the room and like I'll be holding one of them and like, we're doing the whole like just talking to a baby thing, and at a certain point, it kind of look at you and be like, "You're not my dad. You're not my dad.
I've been here since the beginning."
Yeah.
Okay, last one.
Okay.
What is one thing you are deeply grateful for right now?
I'd say my support system. I'm really grateful for like the friends and family and some coworkers. I mean, just anybody that's like pouring into me in any way, whether it's just by like little increments or whatever, just saying certain little things or being here for me when I need something. I'm forever thankful for them, because like I can be a total mess, and just having those people to see me for me when I can't see me for me, and like keep me on the right track. I couldn't ask for like more of like a group of people that are around me, so I'll always be thankful for that.
That's
Right
awesome.
on. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, TJ, it has been an absolute pleasure. I now feel like I'm invested in you, and now you are invested in me.
He's going to be
Yes.
checking in. He's going to be looping back around.
I'm gonna be checking in.
When's the first class?
Right, up in the expansion room. Well, we really do appreciate you taking some time to be with us here today, and to let those people out there, our listeners, get to know somebody, a colleague here. Who knows? You might have just inspired somebody else out there listening to tap into that creative side, or to start being a little bit more intentional, set a few goals. You never know. So we appreciate you coming on and being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Yes. All right. I think that's it, folks. We hope that you have enjoyed our latest co-hosted podcast. Thank you so much for being here, TJ. Thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and Apple so you never miss a new episode. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Peace, love, and easy does it.
Appreciate y'all.